Yes. I used to live here at Harrison and Wells downtown. I want you to meet my team from Malaysia. Where's Michelle? Michelle and Cerny? They're in the back. Okay, I want you to meet Dr. Julie Van Putten. She's an MD, PhD. Give her a round of applause, please. Sound love. Yeah. Come on, y'all can do better than that. Yes, she's a powerful speaker herself. She's the love of my life. And the other thing is, only 1% of doctors are MD, PhDs from The Ohio State University, and she is an MD, medical doctor, and a PhD in integrated medicine. And as you know, I'm a 20-year cancer conqueror. It is her brilliance that has kept me here on the planet in God's grace and mercy. So give her another round of applause. Yes, indeed. Somebody you want to talk to. I want you to think about your goals and dreams. You've seen a lot of presentations today. Let me share with you what's been going on. And this day that you spend here, this limited time that I have with you, and I want you to write this down, because I want you to watch some videos for 90 days straight that's going to change your life. I want you to go to lesbrownmotivation.com. lesbrownmotivation.com. And the reason I do is because, thank you, the reason I believe that most people don't achieve their goals, that most people rather attend events that's based upon entertainment as opposed to something that will empower them, is because too many people, their minds are filled with head trash. How many of you know people like it? Raise your hands, please. So you're going to see some videos, and the value of those videos, my global development, graduating from the Universal Foundation for Better Living, Dr. Johnny pastor there. Yes, I came up here to Chicago, and a major transformation and shift took place in my life. And I'm looking for 21 proteges. I want you to feel this out, because what I'm going to provide for you, there's something that's disturbing to me. When I hear reports that 35 people were shot this past weekend in Chicago, whatever goes on in the community is a result, write this down, the state of mind of the people. The state of the mind of the people. That negative input, toxic mindset, creates self-destructive behavior. There's an African proverb that says, if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. So I want to share some things with you that you need to be inoculated with. Like, polio vaccine. When you're around toxicity day in and day out, how many of you know it can get into your spirit? Raise your hands, please. Yeah. So I want you to fill this room out to make sure I get it, because I'm going to send to you, and you're going to see the difference in yourself. You can feel the difference physically, and mentally, and emotionally, and spiritually, because I'm going to send you a week of daily motivation messages. When you go to lesbrownmotivation.com, lesbrownmotivation.com, and you fill this out, we're going to send you some positive messaging on a regular basis for a whole week, absolutely free, that's designed to strengthen your mind, to strengthen you from the inside out. How many of you know that's real? Raise your hands, please. Yeah, Ezekiel Taylor, one of my mentees here, give him a round of applause. He's a powerful young man. Come on, bring it up, bring it up. So now I want you to think about your goals and your dreams. I want to share with you the transformation that took place for me. And I look at my life, look at my circumstances, just finished touring 21 countries. I'm speaking in Poland, where over 25,000 people filled the stadium there. I was in Germany and Hong Kong, Johannesburg, South Africa, London, England, and Switzerland. I want to share with you, how many like to travel? Raise your hands, please. I'm going to share with you that. I'm also sharing something else with you, too. How many of you know there's no such thing as job security? Raise your hands, please. Good. Write this down. If you know how to make money, you don't need a job.
And we only been waiting all day.
I'm 70 years old. I'm not looking for any job. I look better than 70. Come on now. Come on and step on the back. Come on now. Let them tell see something up in here, up in here. I got a secret I'm gonna share it with you too. But you know it looks good for 70. Yeah. I don't dye my hair because I have a little allergic reaction to the dye. Here, fill this out, sir. I want your information. Fill this out. I have allergic reaction to dye. However, I do cheat and I feel like you're family. Can I share the secret with you? I don't dye my hair, but I do use mascara. You got to have strong self-esteem for this, baby. My kid said, Daddy, you look distinguished with your gray hair. I said, at 70, I'm not trying to look distinguished. I'm trying to look young, you know. My brother, you don't need a paintbrush over there. I was in the Georgia Dome. When you go to letsrockmotivation.com, you're going to see it. I was speaking to 80,000 people. So at the end of my presentation, I was walking off stage. Lady said, Mr. Brown, I know you must be tired. Our speaker canceled. Do you have enough energy for another speech? I said, no. She said, we can pay your full fee. I said, the Lord is able. People say money won't make you happy, but everybody want to find out for themselves. Fellas, I used to be so broke, I walked past a bank and tripped the alarm. And so they took me over to the Georgia World Congress Center. People were very close to the stage. And so I came in and she wanted everybody to know she knew me. She said, there he is, Les Brown. And I came up on the stage and she kissed me on the cheek. And I kissed her on the cheek and left this big black smudge on her face. So I don't know what to say, so I just sat down, you know? So the people down front said, what's on your face? She looks at me, she said, what are they saying? I said, I don't know. Then finally a lady came up there, opened up her purse, gave her a mirror. She said, looking at it, she said, how did this get here? I said, I don't know. You think maybe this rubs off? Now I use waterproof Mademoiselle. So I kiss you on the cheek, you don't have to be worried, all right? The brother's got to do what he's got to do. But I want you to think about your goals and dreams. Let us say together, it's possible.
It's possible.
Say it like you mean it.
It's possible.
Every day you're going to have to program yourself. You're going to have to encourage yourself. I don't have any college education. When I was in 5th grade, I was labeled educable mentally retarded. Went back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade. Fell again when I was in the 8th grade. And I'll never forget a gentleman who changed my life. I had the opportunity to eulogize him a few months ago. He said, young man, go to board and work this problem out for me. I said, sir, I can't do that. He said, why not? I'm not one of your students. Look at me. Yes, sir. Go to the board and work the problem out anyhow. And I said, I can't. And the other students started laughing and saying, he's Leslie. He's got a twin brother, Wesley. Wesley's smart. He's DT. He said, what's DT? He's the dumb twin. And I said, I am, sir. And he came from behind his desk. He looked at me. He said, don't you ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. And that was a turning point in my life. On one hand, I was humiliated. But on the other hand, I was liberated. Because he looked at me with the eyes of Goethe, who said, look at a man the way that he is, only becomes worse. But look at him as if he were what he could be, then he becomes what he should be. And so I had you to shake someone's hand on your right and left and say, you have something special. You have greatness within you. And I want you to know, you don't know whose hand you shook. Eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor is it in the heart of mankind what God has in store for that hand. Let us say together, my dream. It's necessary.
It's necessary.
I want you to write that down. I told my mother, Mama, what is it, Leslie? When I become a man, I'm going to buy your home. She worked on Miami Beach for wealthy families. She cooked for these families, and we ate the food left over from the families that she cooked for. She kept her children, and we wore the hand-me-down clothes of the children that she kept. And as a kid, I was a dreamer, and I was a mama's boy. I feel like Abraham Lincoln said, all that I am and all that I ever hope to be, I owe to my mother. I stand on this stage because of two women. One who gave me life, the other who gave me love. God took me out of my biological mother's womb and placed me in the heart of my adopted mother. Mama had a 3rd grade education, and she adopted 7 children. I was among those 7. And I had this dream of buying her a home. How many of you have somebody special you like to do something for? Raise your hands, please. Very good. I'm going to share with you how I got there. I might run out of time because it's a union setting, and I'm going to give you a way in which I can do a webinar with you or something so I can complete this. Is that okay? Because I don't want to cause them to have any overcharges because of my being just brought up now. So at any rate, and I believe the reason you're here, because you and I are cut from the same cloth. We have branches of the same tree. Everything that I'm saying, it's already in you. I only attract millionaires in training. How many of you like to learn how to make money telling your story? Raise your hands, please. I just finished speaking for AT&T and DirecTV and traveling around the world. Notice, I started off with my story, so I'm going to give you some tips now. There are 7 tips I want to give you. There are 3 I want you to drill deep. Number 1, tell your story succinctly. Why is that important, Les? Because when you speak, if you're in sales, if you're a consultant, you're an entrepreneur, when you speak individually and collectively, people are asking the question, who are you? What do you have? And why should I care? And so when I started out, I told you I was born in an abandoned building on the floor with a twin brother. The poor section of Miami, Florida, adopted by Mrs. Mamie Brown. Do you recall? Why do I tell you that? Write this down. To create identification, connectedness, and bonding. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. If anybody told me, learning how to strategically, and what I'm going to teach you to tell my story, that when I speak internationally, I earn 6 figures. I don't tell you that to impress you, but to impress upon you. You have talents, abilities, and skills. It's one thing to later wait around for a concert, but it's something else. There's something different in you when you wait around to get some information that you know that's already in your heart, that confirm and validate that which you already know, that can take your life to another level. Shake someone's hand on your right and left and say, I'm ready to go big. Do that right now. How many of you ready to go big? Raise your hand. That's why you up in here. You're ready to go big. And that's what I wanted to do. That's why I went to the Universal Foundation for Better Living. I was looking, when I came to Chicago, looking for something that will give me a key, looking for something that will give me something that will allow me to take charge of my life. I'll never forget my brothers and sisters there. I was a state legislator in Columbus, Ohio, and they said, Mom can't take care of herself, and we're going to put her in a nursing home. And I said, why? She has breast cancer. And I said, no. He said, we knew you would say that, Barbara, and get on the phone. I said, listen to me. I said, no. See, I had a problem. How can one woman take care of 7 children who couldn't take care of themselves, but 7 grown people couldn't take care of one woman? I had a problem with that. And I said, no. And I resigned from the Ohio legislature, and I went back to Miami to take care of Mom. I'll never forget ringing the doorbell. And a lady named Miss Mildred was there. And she said, Mamie, Leslie's here. I could hear my mother's voice now. She said, I knew he would come. I knew he would come. How many of you have someone you'd like to be there for? Raise your hands, please. Let me share with you how you do that. Let us sit together as possible. I can have my dream. I got to do something else with you. Sometimes we have to be as little children. Am I correct on that? Yes. Raise your right index finger up. If you don't do anything else, do this. A special blessing coming your way. Put it in your ear. Put it in your ear. Just listen to me. You have something special. You have greatness in you. You have the ability to do more than you can ever begin to imagine. You're greater than your circumstances. You're greater than your situations. Everything that you work on is going to turn out fine. You were born to win. It's your destiny to be rich. Take your finger out. I didn't want to go in one ear and out the other. I got you now. I'm going to make you rich, and there's nothing you can do about it. All right? Now, write this down. Master something you love. I like to help people. How many of you love to help people? Raise your hands, please. I'm going to show you how you can do that and earn millions of dollars. Master something you love. I was in school. I used to get in trouble for talking so much. They called me Mr. Vocabulary. Hey, why did they call you that? Well, baby, linguistically or racially, I'm emphatic that I possess, and that in conventional etymology was simply incomparable. However, I want to be like Columbus and discover you. Dang, all right? Now, success is doing what you love to do in service of others and finding a way to monetize. Now, I didn't do what I'm doing now, speak for major corporations around the world. I didn't do it for 14 years. You know why? Because I thought it would be hard for me to compete with people with college degrees. I felt inferior to them. For me to compete with people with PhDs and years of corporate experience. I didn't have that with MBAs. How many ever thought about something you wanted to do and you talk yourself out of it? Raise your hands, please. Now, so that's what happened to me. I thought it would be hard for me to compete, not have enough money. And write this down. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. Yeah. Coming up with excuses why you can't do it. Procrastinating, allowing yourself to be stuck by fear like I was. If you do what is easy, disapproving of yourself. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, your life will be easy. Write this down. You will fail your way to success. See, I didn't want to fail. And 86% of people allow their fear of failure to outweigh their desire to succeed. I failed many times. And every time you fail, you learn something you did not know before. 8 out of 10 millionaires have been financially bankrupt. Walt Disney filed bankruptcy 7 times. When you have goals and dreams, things are going to happen. I was working on my goals and dreams. The doctor looked at me and said something that nobody wants to hear. 3 most feared words in the world in 7 different countries. You have cancer. You have cancer, young man. The PSA is 2,400. That's just 4 years ago. 1 in 4 carcinomas metastasized to your bones. You have cancer. I said, can you give me a second opinion? Yes, and you're ugly. I'm sorry, I got a problem. No medication ran off. I'm sorry. And I'll never forget. We're coming out of Florida hospital. Dr. Julie stopped me and looked me in the eyes and said, Les? I said, yes. She said, we're going to beat this at the cellular level. And as I stand before you, I'm cancer-free. My PSA is 0. Master something you love. In less than 10 years, 1/3 of the jobs that exist today will be gone away. Less than 10 years. Went into a bank the other day, Dr. Julie's telling me, in the center of the bank, they have this kiosk, people standing in front of that. 3/4 of the bank's personnel gone. How many of you know there's no such thing as job security? Raise your hands, please. Okay? Yeah. Now, write this down. Learn how to make money with your voice. With your voice. This is what I do. When I say knowledge is the new currency, how many of you have some defeats in your life? Raise your hands, please. How many of you can give a speech on how to come back from a defeat or failure? Raise your hands, please. How many of you had some difficult times in your life that you had to overcome? Raise your hands, please. How many of you seen some things that inspired you? Raise your hands, please. How many of you can tell a good story? Raise your hands, please. Trust me. The most powerful man on the planet is a great orator. You know who he is. President Barack Obama.
Yes.
And so as you look at yourself and look at your goals, the key to it, write this down, put your money where your mouth is.
All the time.
Invest in you. They asked Warren Buffett, what's the most important investment you can make today? Guy has billions of dollars in real estate, billions of dollars in the stock market. He said the most important investment you can make today is in yourself. And that's real. Because trust me, at 70 years old, if I went out to apply for a job, they would try and sit me down at McDonald's and Walmart. There's nothing wrong with those places, but that's not me. How many want to do something that's you? Raise your hands, please. Very good. This is key what I'm about to say. Write this down. OQP. Only quality people. A lot of people will never achieve their goals because they have too many toxic, negative, energy draining people in their lives. You earn, listen to me, you earn within $2,000 to $3,000 of your closest friends. Write this down. Partner up. Partner up. Develop relationships and partnerships from people you can learn from, mentally, emotionally, and financially, and spiritually. People rub off on you. Well, Les, can I change them? No. It's a full-time job changing yourself. There's some people so negative they can walk into a dark room and begin to develop. Oh, behave, whatever.
Tell her the truth.
You know what? She really got that, but the rest of y'all get it tomorrow. But I love you so much, and you waited so long all day.
Yes,
I want
we
to
do.
thank you.
You changed my life, man.
I'll find a way to do a webinar with you. I want you, every one of you, take your phone out. I'm going to tell you where to email me, and I'm going to do this week so I can spend more time with you. This is something that's important. All these people came up here. They were all, oh, you say put the information on here, put this over there, and we'll get it to you. I'm about to give you my personal email. I'm about to pull up a Donald Trump movie on y'all. Do it. Yeah, you said, do it, brother. Get yours out of here. Give me your phone number. Put Trump thing on you. All right. Here's the thing. When I think about my life, a study why self-development is so important. A study was done in a book called Learned Optimism, Martin Seligman. And the study indicated between 0 and 5, a word is formed in your heart. And that word is either yes or it's no. And so as a result of that, I spent years changing myself. And what it took me years to do, it won't take you that long. I have found the key. I know how to unlock your greatness. That's what I do. That's my mother. Can you see the picture there? Isn't she beautiful? That's Wesley and I. Am I on the left or your right? I'm the cute one now. Yes, I'm on your right. Okay. Now, and so because of my background, in my household, it's different than the Trump household. They argued over who took the limousine. My household, we argued over who took the last piece of chicken. And so your environment and your circumstances form a vision of you. I didn't do this for 14 years because I was suffering from possibility blindness. The videos that you watch, the things that I'm doing right now as I speak to you, write this down, distract, dispute, and inspire. How people live their lives is a result of the story they believe about themselves. When I speak to you and say you have greatness within you, I'm interrupting that story, distract. I start communicating strategically and experientially to dismantle your limited belief system. How many of you, since I've been speaking, you feel better? Raise your hands, please, all right? Because it's resonating with you. It's going from your mind to your heart to your spirit. This, what I'm saying, is already in you. Let us say together, distract.
Distract.
And so we want to distract ourselves with positive things. Let us say together, dispute.
Dispute.
How many have ever been told you couldn't do something? Raise your hands, please. A friend of mine, the MIT study indicated, if I said to you, you can't do that, then somebody else has come along and say, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it, 17 times to neutralize that one time. That's why my favorite book says, faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing. I'm telling you what I know. This is no theory here. I earn more in 1 hour than the American public working for 5 years will work and earn. And trust me, I'm just an example of what's possible for you. If you didn't know, so your mind said, I don't know if I can do that, but your heart is not logical. Your heart is not practical or realistic. That's why my favorite book says, where your heart is, there your treasure is also. If you didn't know, in your heart of hearts, that you can do what I've done plus more, you'd have been out of here. You waited because you know that the best is yet to come. You know your best years are in front of you. You know you can earn more. You know you can do more. You know that there's more in life than you've been expressing. Give yourselves a round of applause. Come on. So we were raised in that kind of environment. It took some time for me to overcome that kind of programming based upon my programming and my environment and circumstances in Liberty City. Can you understand that? Here's another thing. You have a story. Remember, you have I tell a story about how I became a disc jockey. And that story, which I would tell before I leave the stage, helped me learning how to do it strategically and experientially to build a multi-million-dollar business. I'm looking for 21 proteges, and some of you here who's ready, I'm going to show you how to do this. Yes, all right? Now, so here's the thing. A friend of mine talked to me. He said, Brownie, I had a big afro and a dashiki. He said, you can do more than just be a disc jockey. Why don't you start producing concerts? These little guys came to Columbus, Ohio. That's Michael Jackson down front at 10. That's me standing in the back. And I'll tell you, you don't know whose hand you shook. I didn't know who he was going to become. He didn't know who I was going to become. That hand he just shook was the next future millionaire. Give him another handshake. Give him another handshake right now. I'm glad to meet you. I'm glad to meet you. You might have to look me up. How many like to make a difference in your community? Because of the things that I learned, and I'm going to teach you how to become a master communicator. I was a state legislator in Columbus, Ohio. I resigned midway of my third term to go back to Miami to take care of my mother. That's Mama. I took care of her until she was 89. Bought her 4 different homes. How many of you like to be able to buy a home for somebody you love? Raise your hands, please. These are the things that we're going to do. I'm going to show you how to do it. There's nobody in the industry who's gone through what I've gone through, came out of the circumstances that I came out of. It's different. We had to make it against the odds, like John H. Johnson here at Ebony Magazine. My experience is different. So when I look at you, I see greatness. When I look at you, I think about when I was sitting out in an audience and say, can I do this? God, can I? Was called dumb twin. Can I buy my mother a home? Can I be my own boss? I was working for a company. I won't tell you that it was Sears, that they kept passing me up for promotion. Whatever. They told me, he said, be a team player. I was the #1 salesperson for 6 months in a row. You'll lower morale. And they kept putting people over me, and I had to train them. And they would make a residual off me. And that created the birth of an entrepreneur. When you go through stuff, it can make you bitter or it can make you better. And I left one day and said, where you going? I said, you about to make me lose my mind. You can work and say, you know what? I'm the wrong one. I had to snap on you. And I had to get out of there. I had to do something that allowed me to be free. I love working with people that allowed me to be able to make money. People say money won't make you happy, but everybody will make money for themselves. A friend of mine, Rita Davenport, said money ain't important, but it's right up there with oxygen. And let me tell you something, fellas, even if you're lonely as I am, you got some money, women will find something cute on you. Eyes like like Denzel Washington. What is your legacy? These are my children. They speak. They're authors. They run the business. How many of you have children? Raise your hands, please. When I do a training here, I want you to bring your children. I'm going to train your kids. My kids and I will train them. Say the same thing you say But an expert is a person from out of town with an attaché case. Am I making sense with you on that? All right? How many of you wouldn't mind us working with your children? Raise your hands, please. How many of you know if something works and you can get your kids involved, it works? Raise your hands. All right? Very good. And so, I want you to write this out. Fill out those papers and make sure you sign it to. We're going to do daily motivation. Then after that, I'm going to do a live webinar with you. And I want you to pass those papers in so we can have that data. And I'm going to tell you why I'm going to do this. Because I can. God has been good to me. I've been given grace. I've been very blessed. I've been very blessed because of you, Dr. Q. What are the chances at this stage of my life, cancer metastasizing in my body? God will put someone in my life who loved me unconditionally and who said to me and spoke. How many of you ever had somebody speak and just inspired you? Raise your hands. And so when you spoke, it's like it hit me at the cellular level. And I know my goal is to create messengers of hope. How many of you like to do that? Raise your hands. Yeah. I've never been trained in the traditional way like most people. I don't have any college training. But I discovered a formula that works, and that, let us say together, it works if I work it. Very good. And so I'm excited about this. Here's something else. Don't define yourself or your circumstances based upon where you are. That's why my favorite book says, judge not according to appearances. There's more in you. I know what it is. Creditors used to call the house, and my children would answer the phone and say, my daddy said he ain't home. Well, they catch me on the phone and ask me to Les Brown, sorry, but he's not here. You sound like Les Brown. Don't you go there, big boy. Here's the last thing. Let us say this together with power. You got to be hungry. I'll never forget Mr. Watch said, what do you want to do with your life, young man? I said, I want to buy my mother a home. He said, you got to be hungry. He said, what do you mean by that? He said, people that are hungry are willing to do the things today others won't do. In order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. People that are hungry are unstoppable. People that are hungry, no excuse is acceptable. People that are hungry are relentless. So, Mr. Washington, I'm hungry, sir, to take care of my mother. I'm hungry, sir, to make something of myself. All my life, people compared me to my brother because he's smarter than I am. Or my sister who graduated from the University of Miami. You're the only person, I've never known my father. But you are the only person who looked at me and you gave me respect. Even when I failed, you never looked at me like I was a dummy. You never called me DT. And I want to make my mother proud, and I want to just thank you. I'll be the glory. He said, how do you plan to do that? I said, I want to be a disc jockey. I listen to the radio all the time, and I want to be in the radio. He said, good. Follow these three things. Here are 3 master keys to success, and we'll go deeper when we do this webinar together. Number 1, mindset transformation. He said, I want you to watch and listen to these motivational materials on a regular basis and read at least 20 to 30 pages of something positive every day. You have to program yourself for success. Yes. Next thing, he said you have to increase your skill set. There's a new economy. Things have changed. When I was a kid, we had a phone in every house. Now, everybody got a phone in their pocket. Things have changed. All right? When I was a kid, you want to make a long-distance phone call, you call the long-distance operator. How many of you remember that? Raise your hand. Now you do it directly. It's called creative destruction. And so you got to develop your mindset, mental resiliency. You have to increase your skill set. Let me tell you how to do that. Here's the next thing. You want to create collaborative, achievement-driven, positive relationships. Collaborative, people you can work with. Achievement-driven, not entertainment-driven. Achievement-driven, positive, supporting relationships. That gives you an advantage in life. And so, I did the things that he told me to do. I said, sir, I followed your directions. He says, good. He said, go to WMBM radio station and apply for a job. I've done all that I can do for you. There's a guy there called Ed Cook, the Nassau Dad, and Milton Butterball Smith. Go apply for a job. I went to apply for a job. Hello, Mr. Butterball, Mr. Cook. My name is Les Rock, sir. I like to do this job. He said, young man, you have any journalism in your background? No, sir, I don't. Do you have any experience in broadcasting? I said, no, sir, I don't. But let me audition for you, sir. Let me show you how good I am. I visualize every day. I've been practicing. Just give me a shot. He said, no. Have you ever been rejected? Raise your hands. I was devastated. I went back and said, Mr. Washington, they said no. He said, don't take it personally. Most people are so negative, they have to say no 7 times. He said, you got to be hungry. Go back again. I went back again. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I'd like to be a disc jockey. I know what your name is. Weren't you here yesterday? Yes, sir, I was. Didn't I tell you no yesterday? Yes, sir, you did. Then why are you back today? Well, sir, I didn't know whether or not somebody was laid off or somebody was fired, sir. He said, no one was laid off or fired. I went back the next day. Talking loud, looking happy, like I seen him for the first time. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I'd like to be a disc jockey. I know what your name is. Weren't you here the last 2 days? I said, yes, sir. Then I tell you, no, the last 2 days? I said, yes, sir. He said, why are you back today? I said, well, sir, I didn't know whether or not someone got sick or someone died, sir. He said, no one got sick or died. No one was laid off or fired. Now don't you come back here again. I came back the next day. Talking loud, looking happy, like I seen you for the first time. I said, hello, Mr. Butterball, how are you? He looked at me with rage. He says, go get me some coffee. I said, yes, sir. My favorite book says, the greatest among you will be your servant.
Yeah.
How many of you serious about your goals? Raise your hand.
Yeah.
Write this down. Provide more service than you get paid for. That's why I went to this webinar with you. That's going to change your life. Make sure you give me that paper that you fill out. Provide more service than you get paid for. So I became the errand boy for the disc jockeys. I'd go get their lunch and their dinner, and I'd stand in the control room watching their hand movements. Knowing my time would come, let us say together, I expect to win. I'm supposed to be rich. On the weekends, the disc jockeys would come out to the parking lot, their cars would clean inside out. Hey, who did this? I did, sir. What do you charge, young man? Nothing, sir. Write this down. Give before you ask. Give before you ask. I wanted them to see that I was a resourceful person, that I was a go-to person. I want to prove myself. You charge nothing? No, sir. See, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. Here are my car keys. Donna Ross and the Supremes are coming to town. The Four Tops and the Temptations. Pick them up and drive them to the Fontainebleau Hotel on Miami Beach. I said, it'd be my pleasure, sir. I picked up these entertainers and drove them all over Miami Beach in the disc jockeys' big loan Cadillacs. I didn't have any driver's license, but I'd drive like Then one day, it was a Saturday afternoon, a disc jockey by the name of Rockin' Roger was drinking while he was on the air. He began to slur his words. He was about to fall off the chair. It was a Saturday afternoon. That was the only one there. Looking at him through the control room window. Walking back and forth. Young, ready, and hungry. I was saying, drink, drink. Drink, I'm going to get him some more if you'd ask me to. Then pretty soon the phone rang. It was the general manager and answered the phone. I said, hello? He said, young boy, this is Mr. Klein. I said, I know. He said, Rock can't finish his program. I said, I know. He said, would you call one of the other DJs in? I said, yes, sir. I hung the phone up and said, now he must be thinking I'm crazy. I called my mom and my girlfriend, Cassandra. I said, y'all come out on the front porch and turn on the radio. I'm about to come on the air. I waited for about 20 minutes. I called him back and said, Mr. Klein, I can't find nobody.
I know that's right.
He said, young boy, you know how to work the controls? I said, yes, sir.
I do.
He said, go in there, don't say nothing here. I said, yes, sir. I couldn't wait to get old Rock out of the way. I put on a fast record. I said, look out, this is DLB Triple P. Let's find your platter playing papa. There were none before me, and there will be none after me. Therefore, that makes me the one and only. Young and single and love to mingle, certified, bona fide, duly qualified to bring you satisfaction and a whole lot of action. Look out, baby, I'm your love man. I was hungry. Take someone's hand in your body and look and say, you gotta be hungry. Gotta be hungry, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta get your hustle on. We live in the greatest country in the world that gives us an opportunity to live our dreams, to develop our minds, to increase our skills, and work together to create a better world for generations yet unborn. I want to encourage you to make sure you pass in the papers, even if you bring them up here to me and the people in the back. But I want to leave this with you. First of all, thank you. Sincerely. Thank you for making it.
Thank you.
I want to thank GetMotivated and the whole staff. They're working overtime. And I want to leave this with you. And that dream in your heart. I believe the reason that I'm standing before you is God has given me grace. I've got to stand. I've got to motivate and inspire people. Because somebody inspired me. So I want to leave this with you that I'm known by. And that is stay hungry. That is, if you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it. To work day and night for it. To give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it. If all that you dream and scheme is about it. And life seems useless and worthless without it. And if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it. And lose all your terror of the opposition for it. But if you simply go after that thing that you want, with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope, and confidence, and stern perseverance. If the need of cold poverty, famine, or health, sickness and pain of body and brain, can keep you away from the thing that you want. If dogged and grim, you besiege and beset it. With the help of God, you get it. This has been Mitchell Brown. Amen. God bless you. Thank you. Bring me your business cards. Bring me your papers. Yes. You can turn them into the back too as well. Chicago, thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Brown, I can't promise you smiles, man. Mr. Brown.
Hi, baby, good to see you.
Mr. Brown.